Having money is one of the most comfortable feelings in the world. And I suppose facing the opposite of that, the most uncomfortable feeling in the world is having no money whatsoever. Nothing to sell, no work in sight, bills adding up because God knows those things never stop. Being penniless can almost make you feel naked. As if you're unsafe and everybody around you is pointing their fingers at you laughing. At least that's how society treats people with no desired value. Well, if you personally feel like you relate to anything discussed in this video or just simply like content discussing the downfall of society, feel free to like, comment your thoughts, opinions below, and subscribe to see my daily uploads around here discussing topics just like this. And I want to start this video out by giving a huge shout out to my channel memberships, my Patreon supporters, and everybody who just rocks the content over here on the channel. You can check the details, all that stuff down below in the description. And those are some of the best ways to support the content around here. Now, let's begin.
I bet y'all ain't know how much they finessing us every month with all these damn holidays. It's literally a holiday every month. Y'all don't believe me? Let's start out with January. What happens in January? New Year's, February, Valentine's Day, March, spring break, April, Easter, May, Mother's Day, June, Father's Day, July, Independence Day, August, kids go back to school, September, Labor Day, keep going, October, Halloween.
Once you get to the fourth quarter, that's when they really want you to start spending the money. When the year's about to end and things are about to wrap up, they want every single penny they can take out of your pockets. And they can convince you it's for the greater good, it's for morality, it's to make sure your mom gets that new sweater vest, or whatever you get for your mom. This is exactly what capitalism is all about. Feelings.
November, Thanksgiving, December, Christmas, and then what happens? It all starts back over with the
recurring cycle, folks.
And you know, everybody got a New Year's resolution.
We can't trade all our time for money.
We can't trade all our time for money. Well, folks, it seems as if that's exactly what we're destined to do, is trade our time, our energy, and any sort of fulfillment, if that's even something that you possess, is all going towards your hard-earned dollar that's slowly getting depleted year after year. Now, I do want to point out the first video that we just touched on about holidays. Ever since I started working at retail jobs and the way they set up for holidays and the way that retail stores actually look at holidays, it is a money-making machine. And the more people you have to buy gifts for, the more dollars get put in their pocket and taken out of yours. And this is why, as an adult, I don't really do holidays. I'm not really a big fan of holidays. Fair enough, my family is more than toxic and couldn't really do them if we wanted to anyway, even if we really tried, which we still do for some reason, unfortunately. But the thing about it is that I don't like gifts. I really don't like the whole idea of setting everything up and getting the big tree and all this, because it's all just money. Now, I do remember growing up as a kid, liking all the holiday stuff, being in it as a kid. But as an adult, it's just more expensive. I'm barely paying the bills. Forget about the stockings, the diesel getting hung up around the that like string stuff, getting hung up around the house. We don't got time for that, let alone money for that. So we're skipping holidays from here on out. At least that's how I'm doing it.
And this money ain't even getting us by. We spending all this time get these checks, and these checks can't. The checks don't even last. Let's talk about how the checks don't even last you 2 full weeks no more.
Less and less.
The check be gone in like 2 days, or it be gone in that first week. It be gone in the first week. We need to talk about how the check be gone within the first week. Literally. It's honestly ridiculous.
Now, some of you guys are going to say, oh, why don't you just learn to budget your money better? Why don't you just get a better money-structured lifestyle? Well, unfortunately, folks, with the rising cost of living, the incredible inflation that's making our dollar pretty much worthless, it almost seems as if it does not really matter how much money you make. It is never really enough to get ahead or at least get yourself out of your current situation, because whichever dilemma you are facing, there's always another one on the horizon.
Think like you spending 40 hours of your week,
minimum,
or hell, you might be even doing more time.
Most
and
definitely.
You still don't got enough. You still struggle. That's why I'd rather lose out temporarily on some money if I know that what I'm creating and what I'm doing can lead me to more money. I would rather just take the loss in that moment and just struggle for that little bit. Because
now, I'm currently kind of in the situation this woman is speaking on, where I'm doing all this content stuff and really trying to put myself out there, make a name for myself. Well, to be honest, I probably would make a lot more money if I just did the normal route where I had 2-3 jobs. Even if I worked at a manager position at a McDonald's, I would make much more money than a few thousand views I get per video on YouTube. Now, TikTok is where some of the money gets a little different, and there's all these different things. That's where people always say you can make the money on TikTok, but they're taking that away as well. And I've been doing that for so long, where it's such a hit or miss. Honestly, even knowing the checks from your normal 9 to 5 job do not really make it that far, they don't really last that long. At least they're guaranteed. This stuff you do on your own, like she's saying, you can potentially make more. It's not guaranteed, it's potential. And the majority of folks, people don't actually want to touch on this, who try these endeavors, fail. Not because they didn't try hard enough, they didn't really want it, they didn't believe in themselves. It's just not realistic for many people. And it's not very popular to point those things out, but not everybody who makes it actually made it. You know what I mean? Like, some people make it and they had a lot of help along the way. Some people made it, they were already there through the connections they had. Some people actually do find a way out through their endeavors. But a lot of people who, completely opt out of the normal lifestyle and they try to ride on their own wave, they end up hopping right back on the original train that they began with, because it's easier, more efficient, and actually has somewhat of a structured security in it, even though there really is no security anymore, let's be honest.
I'm telling you right now, I done talked to older people. I didn't talk to older people in my family who just stayed working their jobs for years. And now that they in retirement age, or they can't no longer work because of health concerns, literally, like, they regret it. Like, they wish they would have did something other than just give all their time to the job.
But how many other options do they really have? I mean, in all grand reality of things, there is a bunch of different options. We all have infinite options. But in reality, in your specific circumstances, whether it's the bills you have, whether it's the people you have to take care of in your life, or just the situation, the like location, your financial situation, it is pretty limited for the majority of folks. You know what I mean? Whether what's near them, what's possible for them. Now anybody can go on their phone, hop online, and start ranting and potentially go viral. That's what everybody thinks is the way out. But I will be honest, I've had multiple viral videos on multiple different platforms, and I'm still struggling. It takes a lot more than just going viral once, or just getting one good sale, one good deal. It takes a lot more than that.
Can you imagine giving this much of your hard-earned money away every month
It hurts.
just to live another month, to come up with this again, to give?
When I started renting my own apartment, I actually had this exact same theory in my head, where I was at the bank and I was getting my money orders, because at my first apartment they only took money orders, and I was thinking to myself, I spent all month making this money to get this place for next month, just so I can spend all of next month getting this money to give them again. Now, I understand nothing's free and there should be some sort of cost or charge for certain things, but this fact that the amount of time it takes in the month to actually get that money just to survive for the month is damn near so small that it's like, what's really the point? What's really the goal anymore? It's almost better off not working at all, having no money, and being homeless. You honestly might have more freedom, or at least more not gonna say fulfillment. Might have more peace in that.
Away. It's crazy to me. What are we doing?
I
The
don't know. It's
reason you
crazy
don't
to
want
me
to
too.
work a 9 to 5 anymore is because you realize you're getting scammed. You're getting paid to have to pay to live. Not only that, you have to put up with things like office politics and small talk, and you're not there
I've
anymore.
been through
You're
that.
spiritually awakened. You want to go out and make a difference. You want to help people. You want to connect to people on a deeper level. You don't want to just waste all of your time slaving away at a job. A job where nobody cares about you, where if you lost your life tomorrow, they'd have you replaced by next week.
And they won't even really allow you to mourn your coworkers. They want you to continue the task at hand, train in the new hire that just replaced that person that just passed away, and you actually grow connections with people that you're around in life. Believe it or not. Now, a lot of people, they're fake it. They're like they fake it till they make it. They're super fake with their coworkers at work. They're fake with their family. They're fake with pretty much everybody in life. But some people actually get to like each other, and then once they disappear, they no longer exist. That's a really hard hitting fact. I have had coworkers that have either retired, they've got fired, or they passed away actually themselves. And it's like the managers, there's not really much of a training on how to, be a therapist in terms of being a manager, but it's like the way they just replace you is insane. And some of these bigger positions and some of these higher up companies, I've seen many TikToks and many YouTube short videos and many other videos explaining how Does not matter how high up in the position you get, how many dicks you suck. You are just as replaceable as the new hire. It's very unfortunate, folks.
They might give you a slideshow with some pictures of you in it, but that's about it. Trust me, I've seen it. You want to enact your true free will. You want to get closer to God. You want to be closer to people who actually have something to contribute to your life. Your job isn't aligning with you. You just think, dang, all this just for some money? What's money anyway? Sure, it's a tool, but does it mean anything to me? Is this really making me happy? The answer is no.
I'm not paying back my student loans.
What a way to jump into the next video. I'm not paying back my student loans. Fuck you, government. No, but seriously though, it really does go to show how the reason why the whole concept, the title of wage slavery is even a thing, is because this money, these green paper bills, the value of it all is just constantly weighing down your life, what you're able to do, and actually your vision is how far out you can even see. Your foresight gets shadowed, determined by what you're able to do financially. And most people can barely cover the bills. And then once they do cover the bills, it's only an extra few $100s, maybe an extra few $1,000s. You gotta, repair something in your household. You have to get your car fixed. You have to pay back a couple bills that you already did. You have to pay back those credit card loans that you already did, or maybe student loans, which apparently people aren't even paying. So let's hear about that.
I do not care. Oh, but what about your credit score? What am I going to do with a good credit score? Buy a house on starvation wages? Buy a car I can't afford to insure? I'm not.
Nobody even cares about credit scores no more. Like, do people even talk about credit scores? Like, I know they're a thing. I know if you're like an actual adult, like I'm supposed to be, you're supposed to care about these types of things. But I haven't heard anybody even talk about credit scores no more. Like, people don't got money to even worry about. That's I thought you want a good credit score so you're able to borrow more money. And the more money you borrow, the faster the faster you pay back on time, the more good you are with your connections and your like morality of debt. You're gonna have a higher credit score and you can borrow more and more money. But at the same time, what a backwards concept is to focus all your time on a score. You can just keep borrowing money. Now, it seems like in America, the only way to get ahead is to borrow, borrow, borrow. But the paying back part, that doesn't really ever get talked about all too much.
Paying them back. I don't give a shit about my credit score. Oh, they're going to garnish your wages. Most of us are underemployed. If they start taking additional money out of my paycheck, I just won't work. My life will not get worse. I'm not going to have the money anyway, so
I'm not familiar, I don't think this is true, but since college loans are the only debt that you can't, just like bankrupt, you can't just make disappear. Can you go to jail for never paying those back? I don't think so. So I'm not saying they should make you go to jail, but it's weird how there's no consequence with how like important they make this debt seem.
can't garnish what isn't there. I grew up in a far right, conservative, hardcore Republican family. And since like kindergarten, I have been conditioned to believe that if I did not go to college, I would not be successful.
Poor
I
buddy.
was told that if I locked in, got great grades in high school, got into college, focused, and got my degree, that I would have a life similar to the life my parents had, where
And then you jump in the workforce and none of that shit mattered, not even a little tiny bit. No one cares. No one gives a fuck about your SAT score if you have a 4.0 GPA. Honestly, even a college degree, depending on what it is, people don't even really ask. Don't even care. Like, how many people who are watching this right now have a college degree and don't even use it? Many people I've worked with have went to college and they don't even work in the same field as that degree, and they still have the debt too. So it's like, what were you doing?
my dad worked one job for like 35 years, was able to buy a house and go on vacation and support his family. That doesn't exist anymore. There's no jobs out there with pension plans. There's no jobs out there that let people my age just like buy a house. So what was all that work for? Generations of Americans have been told that if they went to college and they did the right thing, took out these loans, that it would be worth it. And most of us are finding out it's not even remotely close to worth it. You're telling me these millionaires and billionaires were able to get these PPE loans forgiven that they took out during the pandemic for millions of dollars? But I have 30 grand in college debt left and I'm refusing to pay it back, and now I'm the problem.
All right, now the one thing I do want to point out is what he pointed out is that his dad worked one job for 35 years with a pension, got to retire, all that. First of all, working one job for 35 years without getting replaced, the company going bankrupt and completely going under, or them just letting you go for any sort of bullshit reason that they make up along that time frame, is damn near amazing. Like, that's not even really a thing anymore. But the fact that he's talking about where it's like the whole retirement thing, the whole college, system that we're all indoctrinated into, literally in high school, it was almost like if you didn't go to college, you're destined to be a loser. And it's funny because now, as an adult, the majority of people who didn't go to college own their own businesses. They ended up getting debts and other things like business loans and other different things where they're actually able to push that money and get themselves ahead. Versus the college loan debt and stuff, it's like I know people who just lived off their college loan debt, don't even really use a degree anymore, and they never even really finished school in the first place. It's like it's so backwards. But yeah, either way, we'll love to know other guys' thoughts and opinions regarding all these topics that we're talking about in today's video, as well as how you guys are surviving right now, how you guys feel about the current job market, as well as the struggling economy, and how you guys plan on getting through it, as well as you guys are focused on the future, the present, or missing the past. And I would love to know your guys' thoughts and opinions, so feel free to let me know all those down below in the comments. I would love to give a huge shout out to my Patreon supporters, my channel memberships, and everybody who just rocks the content over here. You guys genuinely keep me going. You can check out all that stuff down below in the description, and those are some of the best ways to support the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.